Good evening, prospective Hoboken preschool families. And thank you for spending time with us tonight to learn more about our robust and vibrant pre-K program. We are hosting many families tonight on this virtual presentation Zoom event. That is always super exciting for us, no matter whether it's a live presentation or in this new virtual reality. We are just happy to connect with you all. Before we begin, I would like to officially introduce myself. I am your Assistant Superintendent of Schools, Sandra Rodriguez Gomez. I have been with Hoboken Public Schools going on 7 years and joined in the capacity of both principal of the Joseph F. Bryant School and director of the Office of Early Childhood. I have over 20 years of experience having been a school teacher, a vice principal, a principal, a director, and now serving proudly as your assistant superintendent. I am so very proud and humbled by the holistic work being done here in Hoboken. It is both innovative and inclusive. This is especially true in the preschool program, where we focus on the youngest learners and their journey into discovery and very magical times. Tonight, you will hear about the many ways that our preschool program honors and respects the individual learner and provides best-in-class experiences to ensure that our students are confident, resilient risk takers who exit preschool ready for kindergarten and beyond. With me, I have our very talented supervisor of early childhood education, Ms. Lauren Eakin. And I'm going to ask that she join me as I transition off camera, and she will share a little bit about herself. Once she concludes, I will share some very important housekeeping and protocol items as we continue our program. Ms. Eakin.
Good evening. Thank you, Assistant Superintendent, Ms. Rodriguez Gomez. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. As it was just shared, I am Lauren Eakin, Supervisor of Early Childhood. I've been in education for over 15 years, serving as a proud second grade teacher for most of my career. I've been part of the Red Wing community for 5 years, 4 years in the capacity of the district's gifted and talented coordinator and teacher, and for the past 1 year, serving as the early childhood supervisor. The early childhood team and I are excited to showcase the preschool program. The Hoboken Early Childhood Program provides a high-quality preschool program across our square mile city. It is a priority for our highly motivated preschool staff members to provide a safe, active learning environment that coincides with the district's vision. Our program provides an academic, nurturing environment where all students are given developmentally appropriate opportunities to communicate, make inquiries, and explore learning materials, all which stimulate higher order thinking and reasoning skills. During our presentation tonight, you will hear about the many ways that we prepare our youngest learners as they begin their educational journey. We gauge the success of our program in various ways, one being the assessment tool ECHRS, which you will hear more about later in the presentation. In short, ECHRS is the Early Childhood Environment Rating Scale, and it is an evaluation instrument that rates an early childhood classroom setting by way of 37 different items in a variety of subscales. It uses a 1 through 7 Likert rating, 7 being exemplary. The gold standard set forth by the New Jersey Department of Education is a score of 5. For the past 3 years, we have exceeded a 5 in several areas. The staff-child interaction and individualized teaching and learning items are proudly 2 of our highest strengths. Our low teacher-student ratio in our preschool classrooms helps us meet the individual needs of our youngest learners. Don't just take my word for it. Here are 2 testimonies from currently enrolled families. Virtual learning has exceeded my expectations. We couldn't be more thankful for our amazing teachers. They are so creative with the daily activities they come up with to keep our children engaged and learning. Virtual cooking classes, musical story time, and weekly art lessons keep my daughter excited and eager to turn on the computer and see her friends every day. Another testimony, I just wanted to say thank you to you and your team for the efforts to keep Hoboken's schools open for in-person learning. I feel fortunate that the Hoboken Public Schools are working so hard to balance safety during this unprecedented time with the critical need for our kids to receive the best education possible. Our daughter is so happy to be going to school, and I count my blessings each day that so many in the city are working to make that a reality. The Hoboken Early Childhood Program prides itself on the connections we make within the community and the relationships we build with our families. We look forward to working with our families and the community to continue to encourage a strong homeschool connection to ensure that our students reach their maximum potential.
Thank you, Lauren. Now, I would like to take some time and explain the agenda for the virtual preschool presentation. We will begin with a 44-minute video presentation about our preschool community. You will find narration from members of our preschool teams. You will see Ms. Eakin, our master teachers, preschool intervention and referral teams, our community and parent involvement specialists, our nurse, the director of special services will be joining us, and our preschool partners from both Hopes and Miles Square Early Learning Center. The presentation is filled with lots of pertinent information about our preschool program, our philosophy and curriculum, the support for both cognitive and social emotional development, health services, and what I know is the most important, a walk through what a day in the life of a preschooler is in one of our 70 preschool classrooms. When the video is over, Supervisor Eakin will rejoin all of you and provide quick facts about the program and share some of our accomplishments and future plans. During both the video and our concluding session, we have turned off the chat and raise your hand features simply because we do not want to interrupt the very packed agenda. However, please note that you will have the ability to participate in real-time question and answers with 6 panel members throughout the video and while we speak afterwards. The folks on our panel joining us tonight will be, I will be there, your assistant superintendent, the supervisor of early childhood learning, Ms. Eakin. We have 2 of our master teachers, Kristen Shadiak and Jahaira Santiago, 2 of our PIRT team members, Dr. Yesenia Flores and Carolyn Best, our early childhood program nurse, Nurse Debbie, and last but never least, our community and parent involvement specialist, Ms. Nori Rojas. In order for you to have your questions answered by the most appropriate individual, we ask that you identify in your text prior to your question which individual you are directing your question to. So if your question is about teacher certification, teacher qualification, curriculum, that's a master teacher question. If your question is about social emotional learning, about issues around behavior, questions about intervention, then that's a PIRT team question. I want you to keep in mind that right now we have about 350 families joining us this evening. So if your question is a complex one and requires a detailed response, one of our panelists will let you know that your question will be answered and emailed to you directly by end of day tomorrow. The early childhood team will take charge of that endeavor. Every question that you submit is captured by your email, so don't worry. We will not miss any question or forget to answer it. Finally, the video that you will see momentarily will be posted on our website and YouTube channel for easy access, and we will record the entire virtual presentation in case you need to log off, or if you know of a friend that just couldn't attend this evening, or you just want to share it with a family member. We ask that you just email Supervisor Eakin at leakin@hoboken.edu k12.nj.us, and she will send you the link to the recording. Now, my friends, it is time to sit back and enjoy our preschool presentation.
Welcome to the Preschool Information Session for the 2021-2022 school year. I am the Supervisor of Early Childhood, Lauren Eakin. Together with various members of the Early Childhood team, we'll be providing an overview of the Hoboken Public Schools Early Childhood program. Our preschool team has created a successful active learning environment where all students are given the opportunity to blossom into innovative learners prepared to thrive in the 21st century. I anticipate an educational journey that will instill a love for learning in each and every student that we service. The Hoboken Early Childhood Program has been happily partnering with Miles Square and Hopes for many years to serve our youngest learners as they take their first steps in their academic journey. Both our providers follow the New Jersey recommended and approved Tools of the Mind curriculum. Later in this presentation, you will hear more about this curriculum. Established in 1979, Miles Square has offered Hoboken families daily, dependable, and safe early childhood educational experiences. Throughout the years, the notion of childcare has changed to reflect developmentally appropriate practices, much like it is implemented at Hoboken Public School District's Early Childhood Program. Miles Square continues to present an environment that fosters creativity using the resources at hand and the diversity of the multicultural atmosphere that is both the center's and Hoboken's strong point. Opportunities for learning are readily available in such an urban environment, and they are utilized whenever possible. This type of collaborative effort between Miles Square and other local agencies has proved fruitful to their educational philosophy and has enabled the Miles Square staff to enhance their classroom teaching ability by attending workshops, seminars, and training. Hope's Cap, Inc. was founded in 1964 under President Lyndon B. Johnson's administration, signing the Economic Opportunity Act. As a CAP organization, Hope's helps people to help themselves in achieving self-sufficiency through its various programs. In 1966, Hope's implemented one of the first established Head Start programs in the country. Since then, Hope's early childhood programs, Early Head Start, and state-funded preschool have expanded beyond Hoboken while providing the same high-quality educational programs for children and support services for their families. The Hoboken Early Childhood Program is NAEYC accredited and has collaborated with the Hoboken Board of Education since 1998. Hope's qualified team of teachers, teacher assistants, education supervisors, mental health and disability specialists, health supervisor, nutrition specialist, and family and community partnership specialist work as an interdisciplinary team to address the complete needs of the child and their families in a safe, supportive, and developmentally appropriate setting. I'll start our presentation by discussing what it means to be a former Abbott district and why that's so important. 30 years ago, the education system in Hoboken and 31 other districts was believed to be inadequate. As a result, the state provided these districts extra funding to help support their growth and development. As a former Abbott district, we still receive very high funding from the state. This funding allows us to provide a stellar education through implementation of a comprehensive set of programs and reforms, as well as supplemental programs and a high-quality preschool education. A 2017 article in NJ Monthly indicated that preschool enrollment is up in Jersey City and Hoboken, and that's just not because Hoboken and Jersey City are considered cool places to live. Rather, school administrators say it's a direct result of the opportunity for free, high-quality education for 3 and 4-year-olds. We couldn't agree more, and the proof is in our growing enrollment. Take a look at these numbers. 9 years ago, Hoboken had a total of 38 classrooms in the pre-K program. We've seen steady growth in school year 1920. We had 66 preschool classrooms. The following year, we added 4 more classrooms, where we remain today at 70 classrooms. Our goal is to continue to grow and mature our preschool program as the demand from the community rises. I'm sure you're familiar with the term, it takes a village. Well, the same applies to the early childhood program. Let's talk about the early childhood village, the support staff within the early childhood program. As supervisor of early childhood, one of my main responsibilities, and in my opinion, the most important, is to oversee the academic, social, and emotional development of our youngest students through best program practices. Another asset to the program is Nori Rojas. As the community and parent involvement specialist, Nori oversees the district's family services and assists in facilitating the community's needs. She is charged with organizing family involvement plans and activities and coordinates work with other school district professionals and community agencies, as well as the providers. Next, we have the early childhood nurse, supported by the elementary nurses. As the health specialist for the program, Nurse Deb Meyer consults with providers to maintain a safe and healthy environment for our students and educates the preschool community on healthy habits. She also reviews health and immunization records, conducts screenings, and plans for any special health care needs of students attending the program. Denise Valentine Brooks is our early childhood clerk. She is responsible for creating, inputting, and maintaining all of the preschool student records and other daily tasks. Also providing support to the program, we have our early childhood teams, master teachers, and preschool intervention and referral team. The role of the master teachers is to maintain high levels of quality by assisting and supporting our amazing preschool teachers. Master teachers, as outlined by the New Jersey State Code, coach, provide feedback, demonstrate and provide exemplary early childhood best practices, and maintain regular communication with classroom teachers to support ongoing developmentally appropriate learning experiences. The master teachers host an array of professional development opportunities in the form of training and professional learning communities, so teachers can stay current and continue to learn and grow as educators. They also collaborate very closely with the preschool intervention referral team in order to meet not only the instructional needs, but the social emotional needs of the classroom as a whole. This master teacher team is comprised of Nicola Ligo, Giselle Rodriguez Flora, Yahaira Santiago, and Kristen Shadiak. The Preschool Intervention and Referral Team, simply known as PIRT's, primary role is to provide support and suggested interventions to teachers for children who are exhibiting challenges in the classroom. In accordance to New Jersey State Code, these team members also coach teachers on teaching practices and provide strategies that support the pyramid model and social emotional learning. Additionally, PIRT members discuss and provide resources to teachers and families to help support social, emotional, and relational competence in young children. PIRT team members include Carolyn Best, Kathy Escalante, Dr. Yesenia Flores, and Tracy Schulten. Another aspect of the early childhood team is to host a variety of parent workshops throughout the year. These workshops are designed to improve and support parent participation. Like most things during the 2021 school year, the parent workshop series went virtual and covered topics such as mindfulness and self-care, the ABCs of behavior, and an overview of the program's curriculum, Tools of the Mind, just to name a few. Both teams are a critical piece to the early childhood program. We round out our support at the provider level. I'd like to introduce Judy Barmack, the Executive Director for Miles Square, and Jocelyn Estevez Vargas, Vice President of Early Childhood Programs for HOPES. Judy and Jocelyn are supported by their program directors or educational supervisors, as they are referred to within their respective organization.
Judy Barmack is the Executive Director of Miles Square. Her first experience with Miles Square was when she was a contract administrator for the state of New Jersey. She was assigned to Miles Square when it first opened, and she's been with the program in some capacity ever since. The Miles Square program serves 660 pre-K-3 and pre-K-4 students at 6 locations across the city. Brand School at 215 9th, Early Learning Center at Calabro on 6th and Park Ave, Wallace Elementary School on 11th and Willow, St. Francis on 3rd and Jefferson, the David E. Rue Building on 3rd and Garden, and the newly acquired site, 7th and Jackson. They have a very talented staff that supports a rigorous and robust curriculum for all of the preschool students that they serve. In addition to providing tools of the mind activities to Fidelity, they particularly emphasize friendships by forming relationships with their peers and teachers. Jocelyn Estevez Vargas is the Vice President of Early Childhood Services for Hopes Cap Inc. Hopes has been a partner of the Hoboken Board of Education, providing high-quality preschool services to children and families in Hoboken since 1998. Hope's Early Childhood Program has been accredited by the National Association for the Education of Young Children since 2007. The program can host just under 400 preschool-age students from 3 to 5 years old at 3 different locations throughout Hoboken: Connors Elementary School, located at 2nd and Monroe, the Brand School at 215 9th, and the David E. Rue Building, owned by Hopes, on 3rd and Garden. Their teachers, teachers' assistants, family advocates, nutrition, and custodial staff, together with their specialists, supervisors, and managers, work hard every single day to ensure that you and your child have the best preschool experience possible. Hopes has several years of experience implementing the Tools of the Mind curriculum, and their staff plan activities that will engage your child in meaningful learning through play every single day. They will learn new skills, make new friends, and enter kindergarten ready to learn.
New Jersey's preschool program is exceptional for several reasons. First, all of our preschool classrooms have one highly educated, certified teacher who holds a P3 certification. Each teacher is also supported in the classroom by a paraprofessional. Together, these remarkable individuals fulfill a variety of roles in today's classroom, including, but not limited to, direct service to students, communication with parents and guardians, and curriculum development and adaptation. Additionally, all classes are capped at 15 students. Building on the in-class support, the preschool teachers are also supported by the aforementioned specialized teams, the PIRT, and master teachers. The Early Childhood Program in Hoboken operates on a full-time 6-hour per day schedule as mandated by the New Jersey Department of Education and Division of Early Childhood Education, and follows the approved Hoboken Public Schools district calendar. Many families inquire about before and after care. We offer these wrap services at all our preschool sites. This is not part of the New Jersey Department of Education funded 6-hour school day. If you are interested in before care, after care, or both, you will be contacted over the summer by the provider in which your child has been assigned a seat to arrange this care. The fee for these additional services vary depending on your income level and your child's degree of participation. It is important to note that the preschool program follows the district calendar, and as such, childcare is not offered when school is not in session. One misconception surrounding preschool education is that it's only preschool. Our preschool program is so much more than that, which is why we take attendance seriously. Our preschool handbook, which will be given out at parent orientation, discusses protocols for if your child is ill. We also ask that you please be cognizant of the school calendar when planning vacations. New Jersey Department of Education defines chronic absenteeism as being absent 10% of the total expected days of school. This equals 18 school days and amounts to 108 hours of lost instructional time. Our attendance policy states that on the 10th consecutive absence, or when a child accrues a cumulative of 36 absences, that child may be withdrawn from the program and must be re-registered to gain re-entry.
Our preschool program is made up of many sites. Although all sites accommodate for allergies and food restrictions that may be due to health or religious reasons. Along with allergies and food restriction accommodations, all sites are nut-aware environments. A nut-aware environment means that we ask you to be conscious of what snacks or meals that you're sending with your child each day, that they do not contain any nut ingredients. Our HOPES provider does not allow children or families to bring in any outside food. They provide all snacks and meals for all students. Our Miles Square provider gives children the option to bring food from home or order school lunch. This is with the exception of Miles Square at Rue. Here, they provide all meals and snacks for all children. In the event that our current environment is still present at the start of the 2021 through 2022 school year, you'll be notified of any changes that are made to our meal programs.
Our district follows the Tools of the Mind curriculum. Tools of the Mind is a research-based early childhood model combining teacher professional development with a comprehensive, innovative curriculum that helps young children to develop the cognitive, social-emotional, self-regulatory, and foundational academic skills they need to succeed in school and beyond. Tools of the Mind is designed to support the development of all young children. Tools currently serves over 30,000 children in pre-K and K classrooms nationwide and is one of the 4 approved curricula recommended by the NJDOE Department of Early Childhood Education. The curriculum is based on the work of Lev Vygotsky. He believed in the idea that child development is a result of interactions between children and their social environment. These interactions involve people such as parents and teachers, playmates and schoolmates, brothers and sisters. They also involve cultural artifacts such as books and toys, as well as culturally specific practices in which a child engages in the classroom, at home, or on the playground. Children are active partners in all of these interactions, constructing knowledge, skills, and attitudes, not just mirroring the world around them. For Vygotsky, the most effective learning happens when the new skill and concepts being taught are just on the edge of emergence in the zone of proximal development, or ZPD. When this happens, the child does not simply acquire new knowledge, but actually makes progress in his or her own development. In Vygotsky's words, learning leads development. Because tools instructional interactions are designed to help teachers be more effective in identifying teachable moments, assessing children's development, and ZPD, differentiation of instruction occurs naturally and allows teachers to provide challenges and or support where needed to ensure classroom success for students of all learning abilities. So the central focus for the curriculum is the development of cognitive and social emotional self-regulation, and of course the executive functions. What are the executive functions? And self-regulation are the underlying mental processes that allow us to plan intentionally, focus, sustain, or shift attention as needed, remember on purpose, and manage how much energy we put into a task. These are all abilities we draw on when we need to learn something new. These abilities are tied to brain function that undergoes significant development in the early childhood years, and children's environment play a big role in shaping their development. Research on the impact of these core underlying abilities shows that children who develop them have better long-range outcomes into adulthood. They do better in school, have more friends, and are more successful later on in life. A large body of research confirms that early childhood is a crucial time for laying the foundations of the executive functions. So, the curriculum goal is to help students acquire a set of mental tools that foster school readiness and enhance academic success while engaging in individual, small, and large group instruction. These mental tools are, as mentioned, self-regulation, the ability to control mental, physical, and emotional impulses, focused attention, the ability to purposefully stay on task, deliberate memory, the ability to recall prior information to help enhance skills and complete tasks, symbolic thinking, the ability to have one thing represent another. Early literacy is exposing children to the connection between the written language and spoken language, how to hold a book, the principles of print, phonological awareness, and letter recognition. And of course, early numeracy, which is one-to-one correspondence, counting, and number and shape recognition. So, tools teachers focus on helping children become intentional and reflective learners, creating a classroom in which instruction in literacy, mathematics, and science reflects children's learning capacity rather than age-level expectations. All activities are designed and referred to as games. They incorporate the use of visuals, include movement, have peer interaction, are hands-on, but above all, they're fun, providing students and families the gift of learning concealed in play.
As many of us have may come to learn, most 3 and 4-year-olds have a limited attention span and really thrive off brief but engaging activities. Well, Tools the Mind has done just that. Your children will receive a balance of rigorous small and large group instruction while encouraging them to think independently, collaborate academically, build relationships, all while creating a positive classroom culture. Rest assured that regardless of the provider, all children will receive an equal amount of time for academic instruction, outdoor gross motor play, time to mingle with their peers, and time for daily routines. The varied schedules have primarily been designed to reduce overcrowding in our bathroom facilities and surrounding parks in the neighborhood. This is a sample schedule of what a typical day could look like in your child's classroom. So if you take notice that most activities are short and sweet, just like we previously discussed. So when they come into the classroom, they'll engage in a mystery question activity that will really help ease the transition of morning drop-off. And then they'll do an opening group activity where they'll talk about the weather, the calendar, they'll share the news, show off some dance move, and close with a song. Next, they'll wash hands, eat breakfast and snack. And then they'll move on to play planning, which is a fan favorite. It's a bulk of their morning. They'll take those imaginations that they have in their mind of what they want to do for the day, and they'll put those plans on paper. And then once they've done that, they'll carry them out in one of our 6 centers in the classroom. After that, they'll have an opportunity to shake out some wiggles during our gross motor activities, whether it be indoor or outdoor. Once they return, they'll engage in a small group math or science activity, whether they are talking about one-to-one correspondence, number ID, or maybe they're observing some life science materials in the Science Center. Next, we'll move on to large group read aloud, and this will be either buddy reading or large group graphics practice. We'll move on to washing hands, eat some lunch, move on to rest time, which in the first 20 minutes, the teacher will read a chapter book so they can rest their minds and their bodies so they're ready for the afternoon activities. And once they wake up, they'll have an opportunity to pick a center and play in free choice. As the teachers recap and bring some closure to their day, the students will go back to 2 small groups and engage in a literacy activity. Now, the teacher has an objective in mind, and will they learn a new vocabulary word? Will they talk about parts of the story, or will they predict what is going to happen next? And then we have dismissal. And during this time, all the students will gather their belongings as they transition into aftercare, or if they're picked up by a parent or guardian at the end of the day.
In our continued efforts to always providing a high-quality preschool experience for our students, we closely monitor our program using a rating scale that measures various areas within our program. The instrument we use is called the Early Childhood Environmental Rating Scale at its 3rd edition, commonly referred to as ECHRS 3. This widely used comprehensive assessment tool measures both environmental provisions and teacher-child interactions that affect the broad developmental needs of young children in the following categories. First, we begin with space and furnishings. This subscale addresses the areas of indoor and outdoor space, room arrangement, organization, display, furnishings, and equipment. Following, we have personal care routines. This subscale addresses practices around daily routines like greeting and departure, meals, nap time, and toileting, as well as health and safety practices. Language and literacy addresses the classroom's formal and informal communication, language, and reasoning opportunities. Learning activities. This subscale looks at the learning opportunities in each of the areas of the classrooms, including fine motor, art, music and movement, blocks, sand and water play, dramatic play, nature and science, math and number, and diversity. Following, we have interactions. This area addresses supervision of children, discipline, staff-child interactions, and interactions amongst the children themselves. And finally, we have program structure. Here, we address classroom operations and schedule, including groupings, transitions, and flexibility within our program. Once district-wide assessments are completed and analyzed, we use the data to provide comprehensive professional development to all staff that will focus on those areas for potential growth and those areas that we like to highlight of proficiency.
Screenings and assessments. All of our preschool children are screened with the Early Screening Inventory, the EZR, upon entering the program and by the classroom teacher. This screening gauges several developmental domains and assists in simply identifying which children may be in need of further assistance. Our program understands and values the homeschool connection. The EASY has a parent component where we ask you to kindly give us input on your child's strengths and areas of possible concerns, so we also get to better understand your child. We want to address not only your child's academic needs, but their social, emotional, gross motor, fine motor, self-help, cognitive, and language needs. We also utilize Teaching Strategies Gold. We utilize Teaching Strategies Gold in assessing via collection of anecdotal evidence for 38 research-based objectives, which include predictors of school success. Teachers are able to track your child's progress throughout the entire school year. This guides the teacher in selecting and adapting activities that supports your child's development and learning. Gold reports inform classroom practices and individualized instruction.
This is something that I'm sure as a parent you're all very interested in. We believe that connecting and communicating with families is an integral part of our program. It is especially important in terms of building and maintaining relationships. This allows for a collaborative approach in order to provide a supportive environment for all of our students. Our teachers and staff are trained to focus on communication and family involvement in the classroom and in the child's education. We welcome and encourage input and dialogue between families and staff, which can occur through various means of communication throughout the school year. Examples of this might be during drop-off or pickup, through classroom dojo, emails, phone calls, and perhaps during special events that occur at your child's school throughout the school year. With that being said, there are also scheduled times in which parents are informed of their child's progress. Screening information is shared with parents at parent-teacher conferences that are held several times per year. Parents may ask their child's teacher for information regarding their child's performance in the classroom at any time. And lastly, as part of our effort to promote the homeschool connection, teachers will typically share 4 out of 5 play plans at the end of each school week.
In addition to curriculum and instruction, gross motor, also known as outdoor play, is an important component in our children's development and educational experience. Recess provides the perfect opportunities for our children to practice their gross motor skills, but also hone in on their key socialization skills that are introduced very early on in the academic school year and practiced and discussed throughout. In accordance with our early childhood licensing requirements, children are required to go outside daily unless there's active precipitation, extreme heat, or extreme cold. Nonetheless, our amazing teachers are always well prepared with fun and engaging activities in the case there is active precipitation, extreme heat, or extreme cold, and they are unable to go outside with the students. In these cases, our teachers facilitate their outdoor play indoors in their building's respective gym, if it's accessible at that time, or in their respective classrooms.
Parent involvement in our preschool program is extremely important. The reason it is so important to our program is because research shows that the best predictor of student success is the extent to which families encourage learning at home and involve themselves in their child's education. So how can parents be involved in our program? All parents are encouraged to volunteer in their child's classroom. They can schedule a time with their teacher to help out with events and activities. Parents can also volunteer to come in and read a book, share about their culture, or engage in a fun craft project. Parents can serve on the Hoboken Early Childhood Advisory Council, or the HECAC, and join the parent group at the site that their child attends. Our program also provides informative parent workshops throughout the year. These workshops are presented by provider staff, master teachers, and the preschool intervention and referral team, and are geared towards providing research-based instruction on how to support your child's learning and social-emotional development.
Hello, I am Deb Meyer, nurse for the Hoboken Early Childhood Program. I would like to provide you with some helpful information about health services and health requirements specific to our program. Your child's health and wellness are an important part of attending the program. Early childhood nurses support the preschool program by partnering with our providers to promote health and wellness to students and families. Nurses monitor immunization and physical exam status to ensure compliance with New Jersey Department of Health regulations, observe growth and development, and conduct basic health screenings. Provider staff attends to the daily care of the children, and they are permitted to manage the basic health needs of the students, as well as administer first aid or medication as needed. Nurses also coordinate the management of health conditions in the school setting and collaborate with supportive services to assist in the early identification of health concerns that may impact learning. Health education is also a primary nursing focus to shape healthy habits in the formative years. Health documentation is an important part of the enrollment process. Every child that attends preschool in New Jersey must be fully immunized according to the regulations set forth by the New Jersey Department of Health, and proof of vaccination must be submitted upon enrollment. An official vaccination record is required and must clearly state the name of the child, date of birth, and vaccination dates for each dose. A current and complete physical exam is also required to be submitted prior to school attendance. We ask that you complete the Universal Child Health Record, the standard health form used by our program. The physical exam must be completed within 12 months of starting school and in alignment with the child's age while attending. It is important to note that an updated physical exam is required to be submitted annually while enrolled in the program. Health documentation becomes part of your child's school record, so please be sure all paperwork is clear, legible, and filled in completely. The immunizations that are required for preschool attendance according to the New Jersey Department of Health regulations are listed here for your reference. A child must be in compliance with vaccination requirements by the time they enter school, and all requirements apply to either in-person or virtual learning. A child shall not be admitted to attend school without the proper vaccinations or exemption. Therefore, we ask that you pay special attention to the list of required immunizations to ensure that your child has what is necessary to attend the program. The Universal Child Health Record is also shown here. The form is available on the district website or on the internet under Universal Child Health Record NJ. Parents or guardians should complete the top portion or section 1 of this form, which includes your child's legal name, date of birth, as well as your contact information. Then bring the form to your healthcare provider to have the medical portion or section 2 fully completed, signed, and stamped by your child's medical provider. If you have any questions or if you would like more information about health services, please do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Cecilia Sanchez Dalia, and I am the Director of the Special Services Department. I'm here to assure you that we work very closely with our providers and teachers and all other preschool staff to identify students who may be in need of special education and/or related services. If limited response to supports and interventions crafted by PIRT and master teachers is found, then it may be time to refer the student to the child study team for an evaluation. And we have the early childhood team dedicated to our youngest learners. Referrals for an evaluation come from teachers, parents, and sometimes early intervention service providers. Once we determine that an evaluation is needed, we proceed with various assessments to determine if the child is eligible to receive a special education program and/or related services. If the child was referred before their 3rd birthday and they are found eligible, then they are placed in a preschool class by the time they turn 3 years old. Even if it is mid-year, they will finish out the rest of that school year, and in September, they will start in a pre-K 3 class to have a full pre-K 3 experience. The classroom or where that child is placed will depend on the types of services that the child needs. The student's progress will then be monitored very closely throughout their entire 2 years in pre-K 3 and pre-K 4, and they will receive another evaluation before they transition into kindergarten. The members of the child study team are the following professionals: the learning disabilities teacher consultant, otherwise referred to as the LDTC, school psychologist, school social worker, speech pathologist, and of course the child's teacher. Rest assured that parents are considered part of the team whenever an evaluation, placement, or program decision needs to be made. If you have questions about any aspect of the special education process, please don't hesitate to contact me using my contact information that will be provided at the end of this presentation. We also have available Ms. Jen Hernandez, who is a supervisor in our department, and our dedicated clerk, Ms. Jackie Nunez. Thank you very much.
Here's a list of the application requirements. In order to apply for the Hoboken Early Childhood Education Program for school year 21-22, you must be a resident of Hoboken. Your child must turn 3 or 4 years old on or before September 30th, 2021. This year, preschool registration will take place during the 4th week of March. Like the previous year, registration will take place online. The online registration portal will open on Monday, March 22nd at 8:30 a.m. and will close on Friday, March 26th at 3 p.m. We will host one on-site registration date on Friday, March 26th from 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. These are for the families who do not have computer access to complete their online registration. Reservations are required. If you need an appointment, please call our office at 201-356-3695. Space is limited. Online registration will be held at the David E. Roos School, 301 Garden Street. Here's the list of the documentations required for preschool registration. First, primary proof of address. We will need a copy of your current lease, deed, or mortgage statement. 2, your secondary proof of address consists of a copy of your utility, phone, cable, tax bill, or bank credit card statement. 3, copy of your child's immunization records. All foreign copies must be translated in English. 4, copy of your child's physical form, also known as the Universal Health Record. 5, copy of your child's birth certificate and or passport. And 6, copy of the parent's or guardian's photo ID or passport. Please be reminded that all applicants must reside in Hoboken. Residency verification will be performed by our verification officer. And finally, your child must turn 3 or 4 years old on or before September 30th, 2021.
Across our Miles Square City, we have 7 locations in our ever-growing program. In alignment with the New Jersey Department of Education and Department of Early Childhood Education regulations, we are only responsible for offering a seat in one of our locations. As such, we cannot accommodate special requests. Preschool placement in any of the above locations does not dictate kindergarten placement. Our presentation will come to a close momentarily. However, before we part, I wanted to discuss preschool placement. Before I begin, it's important to note that elementary and preschool placement are 2 separate processes. As much as we try to accommodate and have both siblings attend the same location, it becomes very challenging due to the amount of available seats per site. The early childhood program does offer priority placement, and there are several factors we look at when determining student placement for preschool. We begin with those identified as children with special needs, followed by children who are Head Start eligible, those students who come from low-income families, or those who are considered homeless. The top 2 bullets are mandated by state regulation. As a courtesy, the district considers another accommodation, and that is to pair children with siblings who are in grades 1 through 12 for the upcoming 21-22 school year who are already enrolled in the public school district. This does not include charter schools. This tri-pronged priority process is our first step in filling our preschool seats. After that, we use a random lottery selection based on the number of projected or approved seats. We receive a lot of questions about our preschool program, so we created a few slides with some of our most frequently asked questions. Can I enroll my child in a half-day program? Do preschool students currently enrolled need to register again? When will I find out where my child was placed? Adding to those questions, we often hear what happens if my child does not get placed immediately. Furthermore, we're asked, will my preschool-age child be placed with their sibling? Can I choose my preferred provider or site location? Can I request a location transfer? Closing out some of our frequently asked questions, can I swap my seat with another family in the program for a provider or location of my choice? Does the Hoboken preschool program encourage mixed age classrooms? And does my child need to be potty trained upon entering the program? This concludes our presentation, and we are happy to address any lingering questions you may still have. Please don't hesitate to contact us with any questions or concerns. You can also email our dedicated registration email address at eceregistration@hoboken.k12.nj.us, and you'll be assisted by someone from the early childhood team. We look forward to welcoming you and your child into our exceptional program. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you missed any part of the presentation,
It was recorded and we will be happy to distribute that. You can email me at leakin@hoboken.k12.nj.us. I saw many questions coming to our panelists during the presentation. As a friendly reminder, please be sure to include the name or position of the individual that you are directing your question to within your submission so that the appropriate panelists can field your question. What I would like to do now is provide you with some quick facts and additional information about our preschool program. The Hoboken School District oversees the operation of 70 preschool classes and houses 1,050 pre-K3 and pre-K4 students. We relish in the vast diversity of our district's tapestry. Our students and staff speak various languages and come from many different backgrounds. We love to celebrate the diversity of our families. It is our differences that unite us. In response to the racial injustices that were prevalent in 2020, this year, the Department of Early Childhood created the ECE Diversity Council. Our mission is to create and nurture an inclusive community that cares and respects one another. Our meetings allow us to come together to share ideas and establish a dedicated focus on diversity and inclusion priorities. One of our first initiatives this year was to create a multicultural cookbook to help showcase and celebrate our different cultures. In the preschool program, we love to celebrate our children. The National Association for the Education of Young Children has established a week to do just that. The Week of the Young Child, celebrated in April, is a fun-filled week celebrating early learning, young children, their teachers, families, and the community. The purpose of the Week of the Young Child is to focus public attention on the needs of young children and their families. It also allows us to recognize the early childhood programs and the related services that help meet those needs. In Hoboken, we use this week to really celebrate the child. Our providers use this week as a spirit week of sorts and have exciting theme days and activities. What I would like to do now is dedicate the next 15-20 minutes or so to our question and answer. So I am going to jump off screen, assist in answering those questions, and we'll be back momentarily to close out our session.